This is the Algebra 1 end of course practice test number 3, question number 6. A rectangular piece of land is 55 yards long and 48 yards wide. To the nearest yard, what is the length of a diagonal path across the land? Now, you may know exactly what to do here. I'm going to draw a little bit of a picture just to give myself a visual of what it's supposed to look like. So it's 55 yards long, so say it's something like this, and almost that same distance because it's 48. So I've got this going on for myself, and 55 up here. And then I want to know something about a diagonal path across. Diagonals go from the top down, of course, to the bottom. They want to know what this is. The reality is I need to look at what shape they're asking me about as opposed to finding it. I mean, theoretically, you could set points on the coordinate plane. So if I wanted to do this coordinate plane and set this point at 0 and 48, and this point at 55 and 0, then I could use the distance formula, or I can use what the distance formula is based on originally, which is, of course, the Pythagorean theorem. If you don't have any idea what to do, I would suggest you take some sort of time to, make a little dark line around the shape and see, oh, well, it's just a triangle. From there, I can go back to my formulas page. A lot of people don't use the formulas page very much. They think it's just kind of ridiculous. It's not ridiculous at all. It's actually very helpful at times. Let's see if I can find it. It's helpful. It's even more helpful if you can find it. So here it is. So I'm looking for something with a triangle in it. And there's only two triangles on here. There is the one about area, but that would be if I'm filling in the inside. That has nothing to do with anything. But then I have the Pythagorean theorem, of course. There's a triangle there. And since this is a rectangle, I can freely admit that this is a right angle. And that's what I'm looking for. It helps me get that extra side. So what I'm going to do from here is hopefully scroll back down to question. I scrolled right past it, of course. So here it is. So I'm going to write the Pythagorean theorem down. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So from here, I tend to touch the right angle to remind me which my sides are a and b, so the 55 and the 48. And from here, I might go into my calculator, assuming I can get my hands on it, and type in 55, well, it helps if you turn it on, doesn't it? 55 squared, oops, my programs are fighting each other, 55 squared plus 48 squared, and you get 5,329. From here, the big set at the end, so I have 5,329. And then end up with c squared. The problem is I have to get rid of the squared part, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. It's going to give me c here, and then all I need to do is figure out what the square root of 5,329 is, which is, that's a kind of a doable thing. So I take the square root of 5,329, hit enter, and I get a final value of 73. As an added bonus to the idea of what it possibly is, you could eliminate some answers very quickly from the beginning, just based on logically what the question looks like. So let's take a look at the question outside of the context of anything else. The question says I have a rectangular piece of land. It's 55 yards long and 48 wide. So if I redraw the picture very quickly, 55 and 48, and I eventually figure out, okay, it's a triangle. So just look at the lengths of the sides. You know that this one is longer than both of these, so this is out and this is out. But if you just took like your pencil or something and laid it next to this side for 55, lay it next to this one, it has to be almost double the size to be this side, to be A. So likely, just from a visual perspective, I would pick this one because it just makes the most sense. And that would be the correct answer here. Sometimes you don't need to go as far. I mean, if you just run out of anything, why wouldn't you just see how long the sides are and maybe it'll help you? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't help you, but in some cases it would. So just wanted to give you a couple options that you could use.